The morning they bulldozed my great-grandfather's bridge wasn't just the moment I got angry. It was the moment I snapped. I was done being polite, done responding to certified letters, done playing by their fake HOA rules. That bridge wasn't just old stone and mortar. It was my family's legacy. And when they tore it down without warning, they had no idea what they'd just started. But I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to drain the entire lake, the one their $4 million lakeside resort depended on to survive. It started like any quiet Tuesday. 6 a.m., the lake still wrapped in fog. I was on my dock, coffee in hand, listening to the creaking boards beneath my feet and the distant call of loons. Then I heard it, that low mechanical rumble. Diesel engines. Through the mist, I saw it, a yellow bulldozer crawling down the gravel path like a tank. Behind it, 2 more trucks, men in vests, hard hats, radios, and walking in front of them like she was queen of the lake, there she was, Barbara Langston. White heels, bleached hair, arms crossed and smiling like she'd already won. I ran, I yelled, but it didn't matter. They had their orders, they had permits. Barbara didn't even flinch when I confronted her. "You can't do this," I shouted. Her fake smile never wavered. "We already did." That bridge, the one they were tearing down, wasn't just some old chunk of rock. My great-grandfather, Walter Dean, built it with his own hands in 1924, back before there were lake homes or a resort, or even a town called Oak Ridge Shores. It connected our family's cabin to the main road, long before there were streets or zoning laws or HOA committees. But here's what Barbara didn't know. That bridge sat above a secondary spillway my great-grandfather also designed, because he didn't just build the bridge, he engineered the entire dam system. And tucked away in the attic of our old cabin was a fireproof box that held every record, original deeds, county maps, and a little-known 1923 water rights agreement. That agreement gave my family, and only my family, control over the lake's water flow. Not the HOA, not the resort. Us. They bulldozed my bridge, thinking they owned the lake, but I owned something more important, gravity. For 2 days after the demolition, I was in a blind rage. Then I did what any good engineer would do. I got to work. I called my old professor from Texas A&M. I sent documents to my cousin's wife at the State Water Board. I brought in a surveyor. The spillway? Still functional, still mine. And the HOA had no idea. Meanwhile, Barbara went full Tyrant. She fined me for having a net fishing net on my dock, said my mailbox was the wrong color, even claimed my shed violated community aesthetics. Then came the private security patrols, guys in mirrored sunglasses, snapping pictures of my gutters and fence posts. I documented every visit, every notice, every fine. And while I was at it, I filed a complaint with the state for their unlicensed security force. I also requested the HOA's public financial records. What I found? A gold mine of corruption. $8,000 to Langston Consulting, $5,500 to Norwood Maintenance Solutions, which turned out to be her nephew's fake company. Thousands more to her husband's shell business. It wasn't just nepotism, it was fraud. But I didn't confront her yet. I waited, because I had something bigger. The resort across the lake, Barbara's pride and joy, the one she used HOA funds to beautify the view for, was running on a $4 million commercial loan. I got my hands on their environmental impact report. In fine print, I found a single clause that changed everything. If the lake dropped more than 18 inches below full pool for over 72 hours, the bank could recall the entire loan immediately. So I showed up to the next HOA board meeting with a banker's box full of documents, deeds, water rights, fraud evidence, photos, everything. "I'm not here to argue," I said. "I'm here to give you a choice." Barbara rolled her eyes. "You're bluffing." I looked her straight in the face. "No, I'm draining the lake." She stood up. "That's terrorism." "No, that's maintenance." The board voted. All but one member sided with Barbara. So that night, I walked to the old spillway, I opened the rusted panel, and I turned the valve. 3 full turns. By sunrise, the lake had dropped 11 inches. By noon, tourists at the resort were posting pictures online, dried docks, exposed lake bed, dead fish, mud. By the third day, the bank pulled their funding, just like the reports said they could. Barbara called an emergency meeting. It was chaos. Homeowners screaming at each other. Some wanted me arrested. Others demanded Barbara's resignation. Then the sheriff showed up. "We got a tip you were tampering with infrastructure." I handed him the paperwork. "My great-grandfather built this. Legally, I operate it." He read through the documents twice. Then he said, "This is above my pay grade," and walked out. Barbara wasn't finished. She went on the local news, called me a dangerous radical, said I was threatening children, destroying property values. But her big mouth backfired. People started digging. And what they found? Her husband's company had taken over $30,000 in HOA payments without bids. Her cousin was behind a fake landscaping firm. And her new backyard guest house? It was built 4 feet into a protected wetland zone. 2 weeks later, the county issued a restraining order against her. Misuse of funds, permit violations, abuse of authority. The board voted to remove her. She left town the next morning. The new HOA president, Nora Caldwell, 82 years old, lived here since 1967. She asked me to help rewrite the bylaws. We rebuilt the bridge and renamed it Walters Crossing. 3 months later, the county approved it as a historic site. And the resort? It reopened under new ownership after they sat down with me and worked out a preservation agreement. I'd maintain the water levels, they'd protect the shoreline. We even created a scholarship in my great-grandfather's name for engineering students. Now, every July we host Bridge Day. Catfish fry, live music, kids jumping off the dock Barbara once fined me for. And I stand there, hand on that limestone railing, listening to the water flow. Calm, steady, unstoppable. Because here's the truth. Water doesn't care about power trips or board votes. It follows gravity. It remembers design. And if you're lucky, it remembers who built it. So if someone ever tries to bulldoze your legacy, don't just yell, don't beg. Learn the system, know your rights, and when they back you into a corner, let the water do the talking. Now tell me this, if someone destroyed something your family built with their own hands, would you fight back or walk away? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're battling your own HOA horror story, stick around. Because next time, I'll tell you about the rancher who used mineral rights to stop a billionaire from paving over her land. It gets wild.
They destroyed the bridge his great-grandfather built, so he drained the lake their million-dollar resort depended on. What started as HOA arrogance turned into full-blown legal revenge. He had the rights, the proof, and a plan no one saw coming. If someone bulldozed your family's legacy, would you fight back or walk away? Subscribe for more jaw-dropping HOA revenge stories like this.